Hey all, this is Tyler and
Riley.
And over here we have Madison from O.T.R.Outdoors. We're right on the edge of the woods. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the little shelter I made with the little camp kitchen. We're going to improve the camp today for Riley here to play in and practice some skills and get some work done.
It's a clubhouse kitchen.
Clubhouse kitchen, excuse me. So today we're going to do, pardon me, we're going to build a fire reflector as well as we're going to make a bow saw out of natural materials. So I'm going to get the blade, take it off my regular saw, and we're going to make a frame for it using the natural materials. And from there, I don't know if I'm going to split it up into two videos, one making the saw and then one making the fire reflector. I may just put them all together. Like I said, we're just kind of right here in the woods. Madison's in the pack and play, Riley's running around playing, chasing the birds and stuff. And we'll get started here in just a second. And Katniss, our cat, is out here with us today. So we'll get everything out, get set up, finish getting set up here with all of our stuff, and then we'll get started on getting this saw built. So I found a sapling that is under 3 or 4 other ones. It's got a little bit of life in the top of it, but based on where it's at, sorry about Riley's head popping in there, based on where it's at, it's not going to live very long because of the tree cover from the other bigger trees above it and the other saplings that are right here next to it. So we're going to take this one down. We're going to use just the saw from our saw blade to take this down. Make sure you want to have gloves on when you're doing this. I'm going to cut it as close to the ground as I can just because it's right here where we play. So I want this to be a nice, clean, straight cut because I'm going to use basically cut a notch in this to mount my saw blade into it. So there we go. All right, y'all. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take the piece I just cut and start bending it and seeing where it's going to flex. You got to slowly start breaking the fibers down so they don't snap when you get ready to attach your saw to it. I'm just going to take it and work it on my knee and start bending it. I'm actually going to end up breaking part of this off and work it until I can get it to where it's going to bend to the shape of the saw.
I think it got too much water.
You watering the leaves over there in your bucket? I'm just going to keep working this thing and I'll bring it back once it's ready. So now that I've worked with this piece of it and figured out where I'm going to try and put my saw, I'm going to take and cut off both ends square. I've already done one end. Just take your time, make sure you're wearing heavy leather gloves when you're doing this. Cutting the limb or the sapling down is not really the hard part. This is the hard part because you got to take your time. You don't go too deep. You're going to stay in the middle of the piece as possible.
I'm on the bridge. I made a bridge.
You got to go deep enough that your saw will stay in there. Alright, so when you're done, it should look like that. Get the camera to focus here. No, not wanting to focus on me. But you can see that there. You got a groove that your blade's going to fit into. That's what it's going to look like. You got that on both ends, so that when you go, you get your saw in here. Oop, didn't sound too good there. You're going to keep working with this thing. It'll fit into the notches just like that. So that's going to fit perfect right there. Get that knot I put in there. Right there. Set it down. Grab my gloves so I can hold on to my saw blade. I'm actually going to double the cord going through that hole because that's where most of the tension is going to be on this cord, is against that line right there. So it's going to look like that and get it tightened up. So now what I'm going to do is tie this off good. Just a rough lash. Secure this end. So there's one end. So basically I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. The other end's a little bit more tricky in the fact that you have tension on it. once you get started. So let me get another bit of line on my cordage here and we'll get started. And that was a little bit long, so I'm going to go just fingertip to armpit and cut out that last 5 or 6 inches. Go ahead and get my knot put in there. And I knotted both ends once I was done with the other side. I don't knot both ends because it's a little bit easier to get the line in there without that knot on there. So now, put my glove back on. Making sure I take my time that I don't bend this too quickly so it snaps right there. Slide that right into the notch. Take my line right through there twice. I pretty much want, with that first one, I want to kind of figure out where I'm at centered before I run that second loop through, so I have 2 even ends to work with here. And once I let go of the tension on this, it's going to want to try and pop out, so I'm going to hold on to that string good. Start my wrap here. There we go. Like I said, I'm just doing a basic X pattern, crossing back and forth. Now keep in mind, depending on what wood you have to work with, this is going to be, as you can tell, it's a lot bigger than what a standard bow saw would be. That's just because of the wood I had to work with here. I'm not going to go try and cut down a bunch of stuff. I'm cleaning out the stuff that would naturally die because of location due to other trees fighting for the sun and everything else. So I'm not going to go cut a nice big tree or a nice healthy tree down just to do this little project. Get my other end tied off with a knot so it doesn't come unfrayed. Get all that tightened down. I'm just doing a square knot to finish this off here. So there we go. There's our bow saw. We're gonna go find us a piece of wood to cut and we'll try it out. Alright, so I've got this poplar tree that I basically just pushed over. You gotta be a little more careful with it because it's not a solid, like a metal frame would be. But there you go, nice clean cut there. And we're gonna finish this other piece off here. I definitely want to save this bark. Makes really good cordage and tinder as well. So I'll keep that. One other trick I wanted to show you real quick. That makes a really good baton right there. Is how to split wood with your saw. I'm going to cut off a piece fairly long here. Making sure I'm watching out for that triangle. To this side here, so if I slip for any reason, I'm just going to go straight into the ground. I'm not going to catch my leg or anything. Oh, got a holly leaf in my leg there. Save that bark. Alright, so now what you're going to do if you want to try and split this down, see how I've got that bison went behind this leg and it's sitting here on this other leg. I'm going to cut about halfway through. Use that stump I had. cut a little too deep on that one. Let's cut that a little bit less and then do it again. So you can see where it wanted to split out, just like you would normally with the regular saw, or when you're splitting it down normally. I just cut a little too deep on that one, so we'll do it again. Remember, save all that good bark if you're using poplar. Do it on your leg too. See how it's split down? Basically split it in half. The other half's over here. And you can come back and do the same thing on the other side and split that side out. It works better with a bit bigger limb. We'll try this one more time on this piece here. It's gonna be a little bit smaller one. Use that baton I had. There we go. That one split pretty good that time. Bark's one to hold on. So, and then what you can do is come back with that other piece. Start to split there. There we go. Now you got it split down. Some more manageable pieces to work with. What I think I'm going to do, I said earlier in the video I was going to do a couple projects. So I'm just going to split each project up. So first project, making the bow saw. So that worked pretty good. I mean, this is probably 2.5, maybe 3 inches, if that. So, but it works. It's a nice, easy way if you don't want to carry the whole saw. Just carry the blade. Takes a little bit of time to work with the wood, get it bent and formed so it's not going to snap on you. Personally, I'd rather just carry a folding saw, but it's a cool thing to practice. It works if you're ever in a pinch, or say you broke your saw. Like I said, you can fashion something off the land if your saw breaks that allows you to continue to use your saw. Alright, so that's it for this one. Like I said, I'm going to break them up, each little section for all the different projects we're doing, make different videos just for sake of not running these too long. So remember, there's always a storm coming. Keep your powder dry, your axe, your knife sharp, and on your back trail. We'll see y'all next time.